What's the most feared number in global banking? The Economist says it's 311. Because under Provision 311 of the U.S. Patriot Act, the U.S. Treasury's FinCEN agency can unilaterally drop its hammer and effectively shut a bank down without producing evidence based on undisclosed rumor and hearsay, and without providing any legitimate opportunity to challenge its claims. Even a federal judge recently intervened against FinCEN and questioned their abuse of the 311 measure. That's dangerous, because although the intended purpose of the 311 measure is to stop money laundering, FinCEN regularly gets it wrong. In fact, 8 of FinCEN's 19 311 designations have been rescinded. But that rarely matters for the targeted bank, because the damage is already done. When FinCEN drops its hammer on a bank, that bank is barred from the US dollar market, and banks around the world cut all business ties with it. In today's global economy, that's a death sentence from which a bank cannot recover, imposed unilaterally without any forewarning or trial. And its customers, employees, and shareholders bear the brunt when FinCEN makes a mistake. In March of 2015, FinCEN dropped its hammer on BPA, a small bank in the even smaller country of Andorra. FinCEN referenced 3 customers with whom they had concerns. Concerns dated back several years that had already been reported by BPA to its financial regulators, and one of those had been decided by the Andorran Supreme Court and the funds returned. In the months since the 311, BPA's customers, employees, and shareholders have been stuck in limbo, uncertain about their jobs and their money, and left without any way to challenge FinCEN's ruling, despite ample evidence that FinCEN again got it wrong. In fact, we now know that FinCEN made its decision with incomplete information, because BPA had already flagged these accounts in reports to Andorran authorities a year before FinCEN acted, doing exactly what it was supposed to do. But the Andorran authorities apparently never told FinCEN that BPA had done its job, making its reports over a year earlier, and KPMG and Deloitte had completed anti-money laundering audits annually since 2002, validating BPA's compliance controls and providing these audits to Andorra's national banking regulators as a stamp of approval. Unfortunately, none of this is surprising, because FinCEN tends to target small banks in small, non-strategically important countries, and in secrecy, without any advanced communication with the targeted bank, while ignoring the large global financial institutions and financial centers that don't report problems, and where we know the vast amount of money laundering occurs. For instance, when HSBC was caught, they just paid a fine, amounting to a small speed bump on their road to billions in profits. Efforts to combat money laundering are critical to the safety and soundness of our financial system. But when the long arm of the Treasury Department wields such a heavy hammer, it must act with fairness, discretion, and the facts to avoid the unintended harm that accompanies its actions, especially when you consider there's no recourse available for the accused. Learn more by exploring 311facts.com.